That heifer right there just don't even care.
Save yourself now.
Action.
Hey, you.
What do you say, folks? Hope everybody having a fine Sunday evening.
I hope so.
I know some of you could be dealing with some bad weather later on this evening, but Lord willing, it won't get too real for you.
Mr. Mike's in the house.
Hey, and we're on time, Mr. Mike.
He said rolled up beautiful beans.
Yes,
I
sir.
ain't heard them words in a minute.
What was that old? What was his
The
name? Jake.
bushes baked beans.
Yeah, old Jake. He was a good dog, fine dog. But like I said, hope everybody's having a good Sunday evening. Ours have been pretty good. Hot. It's
Very
summertime
hot.
now. Imagine some of y'all been running with the heat wave too. But yeah, we're in our element. And I would say that's like a K4 or K5 element for you AC people
Not a
out there.
happy element.
Yeah, it's hot.
It's nasty.
But on to it. We got to go through it. We had a good, fine, cool spring. So it's just typical for us.
3 weeks of this.
It was actually pretty nice. Our daytimes are still, our morning times, should I say, are in the high 60s in the mornings. But as soon as that sun gets some angle on it,
I think we're back in the 70s. It's not the 60s. It's been hot.
it's starting to get to where you wear the humidity. Y'all know what we're talking about, a lot of you. But, as soon as you walk outside, you're like, oh, yeah, there it is, waiting for me at the door.
Yeah, lease at 93 with heat of 101 heated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was about that today. It was hot.
But
But been a good weekend. Fun weekend.
it has. Well, what did we do this week? I don't even remember what we did.
This week.
Yeah.
We did a whole lot of keeping kids this week. A lot of keeping kids this week.
Oh, well, I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
I just stayed in a daze.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even though you slept in your recliner for 2 of those babysitting expeditions while I was gone.
That's my days.
One of them you cut grass.
I did. Yep. Got out and did that finally. I tell you what, y'all, before we get into bees, and believe it or not, thanks to old Hoskins there, David, I have a pretty interesting topic just to go through this evening. But before I get into that, the lightning beetles, technically, or what everybody knows them by as lightning bugs.
Oh, I thought you had a new spin on high beetles.
No.
Do what?
Well, they come in together with the lightning beetles, and now they got little flashers on them at nighttime. The smaller high beetles are becoming. It's a new genetic deficiency of some sort.
I mean, I didn't know. I ain't had enough coffee. I didn't know what you was talking about.
Hey, for the ones of y'all that made it all the way to the end of last week, that's some of that baseball bat and crawfish situation. Y'all know.
Y'all hear my eyes roll on that one?
Mm-hmm. Y'all knew.
But Carl said, good thing tomorrow's Monday. I can go to work and get a break. We got one more round of getting kids tomorrow. And they're out for the summer, so it's probably going to pick up even more.
Yeah, but done with picking them up from school. The nieces and nephews. So We don't even have kids, and I'm glad for that to be over. And wait a minute. All right. We're going to get somewhere. Y'all know us. We're going to get somewhere eventually. But when did we go to the graduation? Monday?
Thursday.
Thursday.
It was like a second Monday.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Mm.
I'm all for encouraging children to excel and succeed and give them a pat on the back. And I'm talking, okay, we're talking fifth graders. Okay. Give them a pat on the back when they've done good, award them when they've done really good, things like that. But I'm not for sitting for 3 hours through a fifth grade graduation ceremony for some fifth graders to get their little pieces of paper and just throw it in a trash can pretty much. As soon as they literally is what they were doing. They weren't throwing it in a trash can, but in a bin. As soon as they come off stage and went somewhere else. But
it wasn't a trash can, it was a tote box. They probably just gonna send them in the mail.
Either way.
Tim was not impressed with fifth grade graduation.
No.
But in his defense, there more than half that crowd left early.
Women, ladies, let's take it down a notch, kind of thing. Everyone and teachers up there giving sob stories and, oh, I'm going to miss you. Knowing they're lying through their teeth because there were certain little kids that they just couldn't wait to get out of their class. But they
just couldn't grasp the concept that them teachers might really miss them kids.
I doubt that, very seriously. But anyway, let me get off of that.
Yeah,
We'll get into beekeeping. Moving on. That was my week. I'm glad I forgot about it.
It's one day of your week.
Mm-hmm. But congratulations, fifth graders.
I love you.
I love you.
It was something.
Not in my world, DC. I'm old soul, and you have to earn it.
DC.
I'm not fixing to just give you a trophy just for you showing up.
That's a trigger word. That goes in the bucket with the M word kind of thing. Don't say that around Tim.
Or I've moved past them, one or two. I don't know. But before I get off on too much more of a rabbit on that.
Yeah. Moving on.
She knows, so
Please, moving on. I've been hearing about this for 3 days.
they just sent us out the door, Mr. Roy. There was no graduation. There was no good luck to you kids, anything like that. The teachers around here was like, go.
Yeah, I was homeschooled. My mama just said, thank God we made it through the school year. There wasn't graduation at all.
But yeah. On that was our world. On that. Then as many of y'all probably seen the video, we went and had a wonderful visit.
I'm glad you think this is funny, TC. This has been my life for 3 days now.
Oh, hey, I gave it to her the whole that day, the whole next day, and just
He ain't joking or exaggerating.
the public school system is a joke, and I'm not even a parent. I'm done. We went.
Yeah, I missed this last week.
You come into a snake's den, didn't you?
Yeah,
Tired of it. But
gosh. Anyway,
we tried for last weekend
on what?
to go out and see Mr. Russell and Miss Brenda.
Yes.
And then wasn't able to do it, and talked to him early part of this week, I believe it was, and said, Uh, we're gonna try our best to get out there to you this coming yesterday, and visit with you and see about coming to get those forms you had offered to help us with and all, and
So graciously offered to help us with.
sure did. Let everybody visit with everybody. So that Brian and Jen, so got
Yeah.
a visit from Paul at Hill House. Awesome. Mike Tangway thinks that's my problem. I ain't been able to go to Walmart and vent to them. But we left out about 6 o'clock yesterday morning, 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Well, if it's 5:30.
And y'all bear with me because our trip was, we had a really good drive up there
Mm-hmm.
and a really good drive back, but
An amazingly peaceful drive.
I wasn't fussing.
Not a bit.
And let me tell you, I want the reason why.
We have discovered the trick to keeping people away from you on the highway. You carry bee box.
Yes, sir. If you got some bee boxes on the back of your trailer that they can see,
They get in the other lane like 200 feet back to go around you. It's incredible.
yeah, all right, because that'll lead up to where we stop and got us something to eat. As we're headed up, anybody that's ever traveled up Alabama through Mississippi, U.S. Highway 98 runs up through South Alabama and cuts up to Hattiesburg, Mississippi up there, and it cuts on across back west toward Columbia and Macomb, Mississippi, and Tylertown over that way where Mr. Russell Heyman and them's from. But
Mm-hmm.
the run up there, when that sun finally started getting up, like she's saying, buddy, I never had to fuss the first time about clown, just go around if you're in that big of a hurry, whatever the deal is.
I mean, not the first.
And then we got into Hattiesburg, Mississippi about
8 o'clock.
Yeah, we was running ahead of schedule for a rarity. And when we got into Hattiesburg, you got all them red lights you kind of have to go through before you have to get back on Highway 98, way all that interchange is up there. But even at the red lights, you could actually see the headlights of vehicles behind you at the red lights instead of trying to figure out what make and model the vehicle is on your backside there. And buddy, no problem, was it? With tailgaters. Go ahead. Where we at?
He said, Hannah said, you think Tim was a fussy baby or does he practice?
It's people
He
trying.
has worked hard to perfect the art. I'm sorry.
It's just common sense stuff that drives me up the wall with people.
Mm.
It's like you were not born.
No, it's
with
lack
this.
of common sense stuff that
Well, there we
drives
go.
you up the wall with people.
Yeah, it's like I mean,
Yeah, Lee, can you believe he actually thought about that? He said you're supposed to put the bees in the car with you. Yeah, it hit me. I was like, wait a minute. You planning on taking the Hummer? You realize there's not a bed on the Hummer where we can put them bees. I'm sorry. I love bees. I want to continue beekeeping with everything in me. But I wasn't interested in 2.5 hours locked in a car with 2 whole beehives in there. Like there's just too much that can go wrong there. There's way too much that could go wrong.
okay, she did question me, and there was some hesitancy in that questioning because I told her, I said, I'm gonna go out here and get the Hummer ready, and she's like, we're taking the Hummer
The Hummer
instead of the truck, and I was like, yeah, we're taking the Hummer. I mean,
Yeah. He didn't tell me the rest of his plan was to hook the trailer to the Hummer and all that.
So-
But no, I didn't have the nerve to try to drive that far with him in the car. Now, before I turned allergic, I did no problem at all. We did. The first couple of nukes we ever bought, we met the guy in Mobile. And we felt so bad for him because it was in the middle of summertime and I made him put him in the back seat of the truck. I wouldn't let him ride on the back. But not since I turned allergic. I'm too scared of it now.
No, we'd have been one of them, what was that movie, old Tommy Boy situation? Bees, bees. And just having a breakdown on the side of the highway or something. And
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
It just, I don't know. I didn't have the nerve to try that.
so
But
it definitely kept them off our backsides going up there. And then when we was coming back, there was still some girls kind of holding on to the back of the box because I stopped before we got on the interstate, whatever you want to call it, right there in Hattiesburg. And I pulled off and I was like, let me check these boxes one more time before we put it in the wind. And like I said, there were still several scragglers on the outside of the boxes that was holding on for dear life. And you could tell there was bees in the boxes then, so no problems.
He said I drove with 6 nukes in the back of a Cadillac in my bee jacket. Should have seen what a car guy. I imagine you did get some looks.
That would be pretty hilarious.
Well, Keith, you reckon them other cars appreciate that, though? That seems like a good way to start a ride on the highway.
Well, I'll say this too. Anybody that was beside us, nobody was riding with their windows down. Everybody had their windows up. And I thought that was pretty funny too. But okay, let me get back where I was going.
Mm-hmm.
We get outside of Hattiesburg, we get into Columbia, Mississippi, which is, I guess, about 15 to 20 miles, maybe a little bit more or less, west of Hattiesburg.
Holland?
No, when we stopped in Columbia.
Oh,
So we was ahead of schedule, decided to stop and eat. And this, I'll try to remember to mention this next week, being it's been or going to be Memorial Day weekend, but I could not speak of this tonight.
the coolest thing.
Like I said, we was ahead of schedule a little bit, told Mr. Russell we'd be there around 9 o'clock. And we was about 45 minutes ahead of schedule. So I told her, I said, look, I'm getting a little hungry. Let's just stop and grab something real fast at the next Waffle House we see. And we'll mosey on Mr. Russell's from there on out. Well, we get there. And the Waffle House lady tells us, look, there's 2 chairs over there. Do you mind sitting beside this couple? Because it was at the low table thing or whatever they call it.
Mm-hmm.
And told her, I said, no, it's fine because they was packed. So it was like, yeah, we'll take it. So it was our 2 chairs, Hannah and I's 2 chairs. Then there was an older gentleman and his wife we was going to sit beside. So Hannah diverted to the restroom real quick, and I went and sat down and told the people good morning and just kind of left it at that and didn't think too much more of it. Well, I seen the man's hat sitting on the table, but I really didn't pay it too much attention for the first few minutes. But after a moment or two, I guess sitting there at the table and waiting on the waitress to get over there to us, I actually took a good look at the man's hat, and it said, let me get it right. It's on your phone, ain't it?
You text them to me.
Okay. Look, I don't want to say this without getting this wrong.
You don't want to get
I don't want to get it wrong. Yeah. Y'all know my words.
it. All right. The
Yeah.
22nd Airborne Paratrooper in Korea.
In Korea. All right. 22nd Airborne Paratrooper in Korea. The gentleman's name was Carl
Saver?
Yeah, all right.
Saver, I think it's how they said it.
All right, Saver. The man was 96 years
No,
old.
he's gonna be 96 this year.
Okay.
He's 95 now. But
He's the oldest living gentleman out of his paratrooper group.
mm-hmm.
And they was having Memorial Day parade yesterday in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And he was the, what do you call it? The main man for the parade. Whatever the word is.
Well, he got like the highest honor or whatever because he was the oldest living one.
So,
But he was, we got to talk to him for just a minute. And me and Tim got to sit beside him for a minute. But they were just really, really sweet people.
normally I wouldn't say this because okay. But the gentleman come over and shook our hand and thanked us. And I told that feller, I said, look, I said, we appreciate the service you've done and the time that you put in and the service that you put in for our country and allowing us to continue our freedoms. And it was just an honor in my book for me, having no idea who that man was. Then as they leave, we figure out this man was jumping out of airplanes in Korea and probably.
He was in World War II.
I think so. Both wars. World War II.
I know he was in multiple wars, but I think it was World War II.
Yeah. Then the main thing being part of the airborne paratroopers. But
it was just so cool to meet that.
It was an honor in my book. And we didn't tell him anything, what we do, YouTube, beekeeping, none of that. But it was just a high honor in my book to especially once we figured out, sit down and talk about a little bit more of who the man is and who he was back in the day.
What the changes he's seen in this world in his lifetime. But he was still moving pretty good to be as old as he is. I mean, he didn't even have a cane with him. Not that I saw, kind of thing. He was just walking.
Oh yeah, I mean, it took him a minute. You could tell that the years were catching up with him, kind of thing. But he was Johnny on the spot with conversation, and you knew he could have sat there and told stories all day long. But they honestly had to go and get to.
They were headed to that, whatever the ceremony thing.
Yeah. So
I can't remember what she called it.
He was in Hattiesburg, Mississippi yesterday and enjoyed that Memorial Day parade they had for the remembrance of men and women in the military, all branches of every year. It was quite humbling experience.
Mm-hmm.
So, y'all don't forget to take the time to thank our vets, no matter how young or how much more mature they are. Take the time and thank those men and women. Because what we're fixing to acknowledge, next week, most definitely shows that sacrifice. But it did. It was a blessing, DC. But then we moseyed on out from there, got over to Mr. Russell, met with him.
Mm-hmm.
And
his friend.
Yep. they welcomed us with open arms, just as
It
if
was
we,
just like leaving Miss Dorothy.
yeah, I mean, the typical Southern hospitality.
Had a pot of coffee ready.
Yep.
I couldn't believe it.
Mr. Russell said, Hannah, the stuff's over there, just like you know, like you would around here. Hey, you're home. But I'll tell you where it's at, but you're home.
Yeah.
So he pointed her over to the coffee pot, and we sat there and we had some good fellowship with him and Miss Brenda for a good little while. Then
Yeah.
we walked outside and he showed us his yard, his bee yard, what he got going on with it.
They have a beautiful spot back there. I mean, it was so quiet and peaceful. Thinking, boy, I could throw me a lawn chair by y'all's little pond and just sit here and look at bees for days, kind of thing.
Yes, beautiful, beautiful place. And all his boxes he had out there, the bright colors, kind of drew me pretty good on the different colors he had out there and just configurations he had set up. It was just a good looking setup. And for the ones of you that watched the video, that one little line right there is just a little bit of what he's got. I forget exactly how many he said he had there at the house.
I think he said he had like right at 20 total, but he had two
Out yard,
Yeah.
I believe. One right down the road and one pretty close right down the road, I believe. But then we got to looking, and let me say this before we forget. If y'all looked on the video, and if you notice, Mr. Russell had a piece of string hanging off each one of them boxes.
Oh yeah,
Everyone.
that was the most brilliant thing I've seen in beekeeping. Yeah.
Genius.
It really is.
Y'all, you have to go back and look at the video if you're really interested in what I'm talking about. But what he done is just cut little mini wedges, if you will. And that way, if he had to plug the entrance off real quick, he didn't have to run, try to go find something, this or that, anything.
Like we were doing.
Yeah. All you have to do is just grab that little string right there, and it was tied onto the end of that little wedge, and you just pop that right into the entrance, and it plugged them off until you got done doing whatever it is you was doing.
You see, we should have pointed it out in the video, but we didn't. But you can kind of see it hanging, like when he picks up those boxes, when we get the frames out and goes to dump these, you can see it looks like a little wood cord dangling there. But it was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it's pretty close to the front of the video, about first 3 or 4 minutes into it. Like I said, when the yellow box, I think we got in first. And whenever you kind of see Mr. Russell just shaking that yellow box, you can see that string hanging off there. But I just thought, I was like, man, that is
he looked at me like, why didn't we think of something like that before?
Yeah.
So simple, but so effective.
We got into them, and like you can see from the video, got them moved on over pretty good.
I know Philip meant initials for Joey's nickname, but it looks like he's saying Ma Joey.
Oh, yeah.
Me again. That's going to be stuck in my head. I'm going to think of Ma Joey. So I'm thinking Joey now.
And we got them moved on over. You went in and chit-chatted with Miss Brenda for a little bit. Mr. Russell and I got them moved over.
I had a really good visit with Miss Brenda. A really good visit. She was just as easy to talk to as Lee's mama was.
But one of the cool things was his swarm traps. He's just got sitting up on top of his one. Yeah, he's got a couple sheds out there, but right on that one, he's got one facing north, south, and east and west. I believe about what he had, and all them girls was moving on along good. Swarms done moved in, and we had that. I know the camera didn't do it anywhere any kind of justice, but up in that one tree where you can barely see the swarm on the camera. But
yeah, that was massive swarm in the back. That first one wasn't huge. It was good size, but
that one higher up was a good size swarm. It done broke one of those pine limbs on there. So hopefully they'll get moved in for you somewhere, Mr. Russell, if they ain't done moved on by now.
Yeah. Well, you tell Miss Brenda, y'all just give us a holler when she's feeling better, and we will absolutely make a day of it.
Yeah, because there wasn't no time for us to get over there, really.
No, it really wasn't bad at all.
And then, yeah, Joey's in here. Yeah.
Oh, Joey.
Mr. Russell was talking about Joey not being too far away from him, just not skipping a jump pretty much. And him going to, meet up with Joey at their bee club, and Mr. Russell will do their thing up in Mississippi with their bee club as well. But
you really want one, Todd? I'll send you two.
Yes, they're ready.
They are. They're really close to ready.
But then we
He could have pepper and pepperoni.
There you go.
That'd be perfect.
We got two for you, bub.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, real quick on that. Finishing up at Mr. Russell's. On the way out, what was really, well, like I said, we had a good, wonderful trip and all that, but on the way into it, or headed to his house, then on the way out, as we was headed back home, when Mr. Russell said within a quarter of a mile, he was not stretching the truth by any means. But a few months ago, when that real bad tornado come in up there through Tylertown and those communities right there, it was crazy. Hurricane damage, we've seen that, some trees knocked down and this and that, but I've never really seen huge tornado damage. And as we was coming through there, you could see where trees were just uprooted and just put back down on the ground, or either pushed over or broke. Seeing that was like, Lord have mercy, how did anybody make it with that thing rumbling through there? I'm not sure in their way if there was any or not, but definitely.
The damage was bad. Like the trees and stuff was really bad. We saw a bunch of metal, like a metal roof ripped off from somewhere at one point on that road.
Well, that house that we seen, and you see it in the video at the end of the video, the house we seen, Mr. Russell said it pulled the roof off that house. And, I was thinking it pulled the vinyl siding off. Well, it wasn't vinyl siding. It pulled the brick and the brick mold and everything. That was a brick home. And it pulled the brick away from the home. But it was an eye-opening moment, even a couple months down the road from when this happened. So,
yeah. Oh yeah, he was saying he literally walked out on his back porch to look. Miss Brenda was telling me inside that they heard it. They were inside and heard the freight train sound, and he went out to look and could see it going over the trees right there. Insane.
Definitely worrisome moment. So, and I know a bunch of folks up in Kentucky just had a bad experience last night with that same stuff. And so if you're dealing with it today and all that, most definitely y'all are in our prayers on things. Think of that. You want to go through the prayer list real quick, and we will actually get into the topic that was handed off to us tonight. Thank goodness. Which would be kind of interesting to see folks' uh, rebuttals on all that.
That's what I'm we don't have an argument.
Well, discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Your turn.
All right, we got Mr. Mark and his wife, Ed and his family, Mr. Pat, Miss Deb, Mike Tangley and his family, DC's parents, baby Luca, Deanna Wheeler and her son Reed, Rachel Wilson, her sister Amanda, and their niece Riley, Philip's mama and his friends BJ and his wife, Bobby's Bees and his family, the Gandy family, Hillbilly Earl, Miss Leona, Steve Amos's father-in-law, PJ Hanley, Catherine's son and his family, Sarah and her family, Mr. Randy's mother-in-law, Miss Janae Wood, Kenneth and Chris Wilkinson, Terry Bertaland, Redfish's wife, Miss Janet, Kimberly Schmidt's family, yeah. Kenneth Allen, Miss Dolores, Pepper Rookie, Denny Ray, Keith Laramore's wife, Miss Brenda, James Creel, what?
I'm just thinking.
Steve-O, Rodney Middleton, Kathy Baker's friend, Miss Williams, Mary Beth Hobbs, Stephanie Riley, Dan Garrison's daughter, Brother Sammy and Miss Jolynn, Clay Bunner's daughter, and the new grandbaby, Keith Laramore's cousin, Mr. Russell Amon's wife, Miss Brenda, let's see, Mr. Mike Berry, and Lee's mom. Now, Lee said she definitely still keep praying for her, but she is home now. So she's improved a little bit at least.
I can't remember if I put a thing out or not, so anybody that didn't know, Lee's mama, Lee and them had to carry his mama to the hospital the other night because she was having a bleed. And long story short, they pretty sure they got that remedied and got her on back home now. And Lee's cousin Stephanie, she
was supposed to come home today.
I think so.
Yeah.
And once again,
in the next day or so. I think he said the day.
I think it was today. But talked to Lee for a minute yesterday on, just checking in and see how she was doing and see how his mama was doing. And thank you, folks, for the ones of you that was able to help out with Lee's cousin on the GoFundMe.
Yes.
That
every penny is going to help her and her family.
Yes. And if you're still in here, brother, anybody that wants to help out Lee's family once again, Lee, if you got the link, feel free to put that in the comments.
I was looking here. I don't think you have it anywhere. Mr. Roy, I am putting them on the list right now. I didn't know that.
Yeah. What, they got wildfires up there again or something? Okay. Lee said his mama made it home Friday. Stephanie made it home yesterday.
Okay, good deal. Good deal.
Awesome. And Pastor Larry, Miss Jan, and them?
They were. Yeah.
Okay. Pastor Larry, I got your message from the other day, but I did get your message, and I apologize about not getting back with you yesterday, but when we hit the road, and when we got back home about 4 o'clock yesterday evening, I got the bees unloaded, got them where they're going to be residing. And before I knew it, I woke up at about 8:30. Well, about 8:30 last night because I got the last part of Joey's live. Whenever I finally got up, come to bed out of my recliner there, and I had no idea, but I was out
We
like a
got
light.
home about 4, and he did go do the bees because I come in and started tackling puppies, but he carried boxes down and set them down. And by about 5:15, he was gone in this chair and didn't wake up till he was ready to go to bed. He was whooped.
While I had that on my brain, yes, sir, I got your message, and thank y'all much on that. What else I got on my notes here? The veteran got me out. Meeting with Mr. Russell Amon and Miss Brenda.
Wait, Lee's back in here.
Okay.
Lee, can you put the GoFundMe link in again?
While he's doing that, check this out. Now, I didn't show, you can see a split second of this. I forgot about this till looking at my notes. But on the video at Mr. Russell Amon's, all right, you have to go back and it's one of them things pay attention to, but you're not going to pick up on really what you didn't know about this part. But whenever Hannah was pulling some of them frames up, it appeared that when she had turned one of those frames, that some nectar had fallen out of a cell somewhere. So on the one spot, I was thinking, well, I told them, I said, you know what, I'm going to try this nectar and see, if it's maybe some of that clover or privet hedge or whatever the case may be. See if I can get a hint on what it is. So, like anybody else, boom, went down there, got me a good try of it. There was no taste. Well, I thought to myself, I was like, well, maybe I just didn't get enough because I didn't unzip my veil. And I just tried, licking it off the veil, between the veil and my finger. So I found another spot to get some nectar, I thought. So I said, I'm going to unzip my veil this time, get me a good old handful or fingerful of it there, see if I can get a taste off of it. Y'all, I know I got plenty on my finger, and when I put it to the tip of my tongue to taste it, I was like, that's water. That's not nectar. Now, the only thing that we could come up with was one or two things. They were storing some water in a cell somewhere in that frame, or a couple cells it had to be in because there was two different areas, a frame or two apart. So there was either storing water in cells, or by chance you had several bees coming in that were full of water that has yet to pass it on to the AC crew. And they regurgitated it before it got to the AC crew, which I really don't think that was it, because it was just so, it was like concentrated as if you had, just put a blotch down here, and a glob down over here. But that was pretty interesting in my brain because I haven't heard of anybody ever talk about bees storing water, nor can I find anything.
He said, I don't think that these actually store the water in cells.
That was my predicament.
Mr. Russell said that second drop was too much.
But it just kind of interested in my brain. I was like, it fell out. It had to have fallen out cells because it's just two concentrated. It wasn't like, a bee trying to walk around and you had a line of it somewhere. It was just dobs here and there. So I don't know. Done some Googling on it. Google says no, but I'm gonna tell you what, some water come out of that hive from a cell or a bee or something. Because there was no condensation or anything on the bottom of the lid of what?
DC said he watched a video. The cups turn up on the tops of the cell. They'll use those to store water in the hot time periods. They drop water in the upturned cells and allow it to evaporate to control the humidity. BP, that's disgusting. He put it in his mouth.
Ain't no taste, and it was clear. That's what I can tell you. That's pretty interesting. DC, I'm gonna go back and research a little bit more on it because I just typed in, do bees store water, and Google was like, no, it don't. But in my brain, that water come out of a cell. I could be 100% wrong, but just the way it was as if you'd done a shake test.
He said it was some university.
Okay.
Well, I mean, is all nectar gonna have some kind of taste to it?
Yes, you're gonna have some kind of sweet, at least a sweet taste to it. And I agree about that too. Google is an idiot. Yes. But I just, once again, I thought it was pretty interesting. I've never heard of any talks of it on any bee chats of them
storing water.
Yeah, storing water. So, which makes sense if they're
Beekeeping.
Get your coffee. Well, get on that. But where are we at in here? All right, we're getting a little bit on here. Brian and Miss Kathy saying they place water all around the hive cooling. So they may be placing it in cells, but not just the fact of storing it, as if they would store honey or pollen or nectar. Well, honey by the time it gets to the cell. But I'm gonna see if I can try to find a little bit more. Or DC, if you happen to find your video you're talking about, holler at us in a comment or email. Shoot me the link if you don't mind. I'd like to check that out. See what more studying has been done on that. But all right. Topic for tonight. And this come from, I believe, Mr. David Hoskins. But actually him and Sarah from Sarah's Happy Hive pretty well had the same comment, just a little bit different language in there. So, all right, when I say this, completely 100% exclude the fact of honey supers. We're not in any kind of way discussing honey supers.
Brood chambers. Oh.
Yes. Brood chamber, brood area. No supers when we ask this question. Has anybody or does anybody run foundationless in the brood chamber and allow the bees to build out in a more natural form on those frames? And if so, how well does it go for you? Because a couple people asking that question, and I'll give y'all my thought on it in a minute. Let folks have time to type in the computer.
Can we backtrack a second?
We can
I'm
back up a
sorry,
second.
I was making coffee. Did you see Brown Baker's comment?
No.
They place water all around the hive to cool.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Okay. Well, then Darren said Cornell University says bees don't put water in cells. So it looks like we got a contradiction of brewing here.
Well, let's remedy it. I mean, they're bringing water
We ain't
in.
arguing with one way or another. We're just
Uh-oh.
curious. What did you do?
But there's no denying they're bringing it in. So after that process, is it just going to the AC crew to disperse it out as they do? Or is there a temporary holding area? I don't want to say storage, but holding area. All right, let's see here.
They'll put a drop of water in a brood cell for humidity or cooling.
Okay.
Huh.
All right, remember Joey's comment up there once we get over this water situation. So,
Yeah, Joey and some Mr. Roy. He said only by accident when I forget to ask for. We've done that, Mr. Roy.
well, that's kind of like us because Mr. Russell was telling us we had brought extra frames and stuff to give back to him for what he was sending us home with.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of like the same thing. We had some foundation where I just one day knocked the foundation out so we could, get some cut cone, whatever it may be in the supers. But as far as actually putting it down in the brood chamber, we never done it. But thinking, it's like, well, I mean, that's how the folks done it for hunting decades back in the old days before any kind of plastic foundation ever even thought about being made up. Just wondering if anybody does it to carry on. Okay, well, hey, we have a much better brood production, allowing them to build out every year, or I see better performance on the foundation. Because it looks like, well, we was kind of kidding a little bit with Mr. Russell. Said, look, if we forget to drop a frame in, then wherever an empty spot is, we'll throw a frame in without no foundation. Just let them draw it out and see what they do with it. But all right, let me get back up here. Some of y'all comments. All right, going back to Phillips there. So Darren, they will put a drop of it in the brood cell for humidity or cooling. The DC I seen a drop of water in those small cups sitting on top of the frame. And those are the cups that point up. Let's see. Oh, I just missed a flip. So I use a 50-50, works well. Burr comb between frames due to more drone cells in frames. Huh.
They're still going on about the water. The water.
Let's see. All right, Todd said on the foundationless part, I have done that before, but the bees always built drone comb. So it seems like we're kind of getting a few folks that has either just left the frame out and threw something in real quick, kind of like we would do, just like, well, whatever, put it in there and let them do as they please. But it's kind of seeing two or three of you are saying, yeah, we've done it, but they have more of a tendency to possibly, I guess, put the drones in there. And I reckon some of that would just be depending on time of the year too. I reckon once that drone season starts idling down, or before the swarm season really gets picking up, I don't know.
You got a point there, Todd. He said, but my bees are Californians, so.
Mm. All right, Steve Amos, got to throw that in. What bees do in the Northeast aren't necessarily what bees do in Alabama. I always use foundation, except that I have 20 frames of the better cone. Okay.
Hmm.
Well, it was a good question.
We're just kind of curious.
Yeah, especially with Sarah and David kind of throwing that out there at the same time. I was like, well, let's see what kind of results we can get out of that. People that's actually, if there's somebody that does it each year, just to let them, kind of like Mr. Ed does down there, and lets them draw out new comb every year.
Carl said Todd's bees have disclaimer stickers.
Warning labels on
That's pretty good.
these bees may cause this in California. Look, we can't drive on Todd too much because, like I said, before I dozed back off, I was watching Joey's live last night. They was giving Todd a pretty good runaround on the show last night, which I had.
I was in there for like the first half. I had just gotten out because I was going to bed. I was giving up on staying awake when you came in and got in there.
But how they was #wife. Y'all remember that from the giveaway? And then last night, I guess somewhere before I got in there, y'all was driving on him again on it. So
Well, I said JW. But Lee said Todd has to register his bees with the fishery department. That's what I busted out laughing at. That's hilarious.
well, I'd love to see that, Todd. So they're conspiring to find me a wife, and then we'll ordain JW, and he will officiate.
I'd love to see a video.
I want to hear JW officiate by the power invested in me.
Oh, man.
Todd, here's your woman.
That's just hilarious.
That's good stuff. Let's see.
Mr. Mark said he knows a man that's big into catching swarms, and he uses foundationless frames. He puts a bar across the middle halfway, and that works for him.
Using foundationless frames in the swarms.
Catching swarms. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, that makes good
sense.
Does
he mean to put a bar across the middle of the frame, like halfway down?
No, he's probably like putting that little bar across the top to where that'll give them that little bit to start drawing on down instead of them drawing out on the bottom of the top bar.
I was confused with that because it said foundationless frames. So.
Now, he's probably just putting that little, I don't know, 3/4 inch piece in there, maybe something like 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch little sliver to run across there and give them something to start drawing out on. But I know a lot of people's, you can get the little starter pieces to do that, or I think there are some people like taking parts of the actual plastic foundation and just cutting little pieces of it and doing just that exact same thing. Attaching the plastic foundation up there and just letting them draw down off that little bit of plastic foundation that you got cut out.
Lee's coming to Todd's rescue.
Is it? I got to get in the
Ooh,
comments.
I was right. The bar is in the middle of the frame, so when they build, it supports the column.
I was wrong. And I
Oh, I like hearing them words once in a while.
whatever. She's going to replay that like that little.
I'm gonna make it my ringtone.
Like,
Ain't that what you told me when I said I was wrong?
now, that's something we don't do. And I know it was mentioned, I believe, by David about he runs fishing line or wire through there. Kind of like the same concept you're doing like you do with cut cone, give it to that rigid, more rigid and better support on there. But y'all, some of it, which I know we're the only ones that's ever done this, but just a lazy way. Boom, throw a frame in there and whatever happens, happens. Have at it, ladies.
Yeah.
I'm going in or whatever the case may be. Ricky, Miss Ruth,
Yeah,
good to see y'all too, Ricky.
mm-hmm. I told him in the chat. He was talking so and saying, Joe.
Yeah, I just seen it. Yeah, I forgot about that, Joey. Yeah, yes, sir. And let me say it because I said it that day at Lee's because we was going through some of that. I think was we on the live? Was we live yet? Whenever we was going through that, or I'm wrong? You're right. I'm sorry.
Puppies.
Uh-oh.
Selma.
But that is once again noted, Joey. I appreciate you reminding me of that. Yes, sir. Okay, that's right. He said it was pre-live. Yep. We had a good laugh about all that day. I forgot about that too. All right, Pastor Larry and them said they use fishing lines to support with a 1-inch piece of plastic foundation at the top for a starter. So there you go, GC. Pastor Larry and them, they using a little piece of plastic foundation. No, I don't. So if you got one that's done got too hot, sat out in the sun, and if it's bowed in the middle, there's you a good piece to run through your saw or whatever, or well, probably best to run it through a little jigsaw or something, cut it off. But a good way to, I guess, recycle, upcycle, cycle all of them. Your messed up foundation, if you want to have a foundation list as far as plastic in there, something to try. But
Pastor Larry said they'll draw a lot of drone from it.
there we go with the drone again.
What?
Them drawing out drone cone. Okay. Kind of like cutting off some of that tile and stuff nowadays. Just score it.
Yeah.
Let it break. Okay. Much less evasive. Just watch your fingers. What is that?
Oh,
We
we're talking about that grandbaby.
Was that we sent Todd? Yeah, Todd got the queen,
The spoon carving.
the spoon carving knife. And it was what hashtag missing fingers. So if you decide to score it, watch them fingers. What was it? I seen somebody, who was it in here talking about getting on some black locusts a second ago? I seen in his comments.
Yeah, I saw it. I can't remember who it was.
Look, Mr. Dan Weaver, or
He had
any, did he?
Mhm.
Okay. If any of y'all out there get a true black locust run to where, I guess the best way I can relate it to what Mr. Dan Weaver sent to us. It was clear as water.
Mm-hmm. It was like thick water.
Yes.
Best way to describe it.
If y'all get a good harvest off of that, holler at us. We want to buy at least one jar. Well, I like to buy two. One for us and one for somebody else. But if you get on a good black locust run like that, please email us and holler at us, especially if you got something you can sell. We'll pay for the honey, the shipping, the whole kit and caboodle. Just let us know what it is. But we was talking different honeys and stuff yesterday with Mr. Russell Amon, and he had gotten some alfalfa off a commercial guy that took his bees up north.
Oh my gosh, y'all. I don't know if you've had that, but it about took the cake with me for my favorite so far.
And alfalfa was very,
Very
very good.
unique.
Yes.
But oh my word, it was good.
All right, drop time saying very clear and floral taste. It had
The black locust.
the black locust, yes. And we was trying to tell Mr. Russell Amon about it. And
I didn't know how to describe the taste, like the flavor. I really didn't.
pretty doggone good. But the wow factor of all of it was being just as clear as water. We've had some clear, I guess, kind of clear honey, if you will, nowhere near the black locust with some of that privet. I mean, you still got a good gold tint to it in that privet, but you can just about see through the other side of that jar real good on a privet run. But that black locust was literally just like looking through a glass of water. And we was telling Mr. Russell about that, and we said if we could find somebody that gets a run of it, we'll holler at you. And either whether we can get one jar, we'll send that right on to you, or if we can get two jars, that'd be wonderful because we'd keep one here and send him one as well. But yeah, we'll keep in touch in the next chat or three and see if anybody's done a harvest or something like that. If you have, please holler at us.
So Todd said Charlie has some good black locust honey that he's gonna order.
Charlie?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I tell you what, first come, first serve. Whoever says, yeah, I got it, we'll be hollering at you. DC saying our Himalayan blackberry big flow will get started soon. After them, it'll be time to start feeding. That quick?
Yeah, he said that's really his last nectar flow.
The blackberry?
That's his only big one, I think. He said he gets little trickles, but no flows. Okay, Brian said Charlie's is really good.
Okay. Well, we'll be hollering at Charlie or Drop Time or whomever. Like I say, if one of y'all just do a complete black locust pool.
Yeah, Chris said if the tulip poplar stays out of it, he should get some. But I'm pretty sure Mr. Dan said he had some, didn't he? Or was going to harvest some this year, or did he get rained out?
I can't remember.
I know
the black locust.
they were rained out. Maybe Ricky got rained out.
Yeah, that's a bummer, DC. I kind of figured maybe I'd have a little bit of a wildflower for a minute or something after them blackberries got done, or dewberry.
Did you show me?
No,
No.
I forgot. Here,
Probably do that.
here, I'm gonna invite some guests. If y'all want to come in, we'll chew the fat. If not, y'all know what happened.
Found something to argue about.
Yep. Well, look at there. Didn't put the doohickey in. That StreamYard has heard my fuss because they didn't put that deal up there. Appreciate the StreamYard. If you're listening.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
But now I should be able to start getting some of y'all's comments on the screen again.
Oh, yeah, it's just a little dollar sign now.
Mm-mm.
Not a whole big banner or something.
I will say though, if we'll get us another good rain before that tallow opens up, we're going to be okay. If we don't, then it's just going to be a complete bust on I'm gonna say any kind of honey flow around here. And once again, I was discussing with Mr. Russell yesterday. I said I was watching the highway far as floral between the house and up there to his house, and everything pretty well looked the same as far as wildflowers out and about. And the mimosa was blooming real pretty and looking good, but we just haven't had the rain to, I guess, really do anything. And the mimosa's already burning up a week and a half into it blooming around here. And it was kind of doing that bit headed up through South and South Central Mississippi.
I only hope for a good flow for a while is going to be the tallow. If the rain does right, then we get a flow off of it.
Yep. Let's see. Yeah, you just got Carl's comment. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, we're excited. We're back.
Yeah.
We're on up to 4.
I saw Mr. Russell yesterday. It smells so good. I'm leaning over a healthy beehive right now. All that fresh comb the girls had drawn out. It was really, really pretty to see. But they was going crazy.
Now they were starting to draw out pretty good around there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's just been kind of, they haven't had a whole bunch to really just, y'all know how they do during a good flow. You can't keep up with them as far as honey bound or keeping enough frames in there for that queen to keep on going without her getting in the bind and this and that. But
yeah, Carl, we're still praying, holding out hope to catch some swarms here, but I don't know what the deal is. Nobody around here is. You keep hitting that.
Oh, I sure did. Let me put my feet down because I'm rattling y'all all over the
Good
place.
idea. You're making them seasick.
Sorry. I'm trying to put my feet up.
Yeah. I don't know what the deal is. Nobody is getting on swarms in our neck of the woods at all.
No, it's definitely slim pickings. If you get one, you had better get on over there to it.
Mm-hmm.
Or I hope you know them real good and say, hey, don't call anybody else. I'll be there when I get there. And I just seen Clay's comment asking Ricky where he was delivering news, but that was kind of back to Mr. Randy Carhill. Looked like he was on the coast over there.
Oh, yeah, he put in the chat a while ago that he was going strolling on the beach. He'd check the replay tomorrow.
I heard
You
that.
have fun, Mr. Randy.
Yes, sir. Enjoy yourself.
Absolutely. Everybody should do that once in a while.
Where was he at? The Gulf of Atlantic on that
I
side?
think
Of
it's
it?
somewhere in Virginia.
Yeah, the Gulf of Atlantic.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Anyway,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, Carl said he's not even seeing many posts about sports.
mm-mm. Well, that's the thing, because I mean, y'all know you're on the Book of Faces, and everybody's in their own communities and this and that.
Mhm.
And usually, as soon as season starts kicking off in your area, but people's hitting you, tagging you, and this and
Mhm.
that, or calling your phone. Hey,
People they'll post all over social media looking, just post a picture. I got bees here, somebody come help, and hadn't seen none of that around here. I don't know what's going on.
let's just
It's
make
not
it.
the year we thought the snow was going to bring.
No,
That's for sure.
you said the word. Y'all heard
I'm
her.
sorry. Whatever. I heard you was dropping M bombs all over the place last week while I was gone.
Flip said he's got 4 so far. I think Mr. Russell said he was about 9 over his way.
Brian and Kathy said they've only had one there.
Joey's had a few over there.
Joe's had quite a few. Phillips had a bunch.
Yeah. Well, we know what Philip's doing.
Moving on.
He's hot gluing them queens to the bottom of them boxes. I'm telling you.
Accusations with no evidence. Moving on. We're rehashing this every week.
Well, I got to give the man some kind of fits out there. Just
What
like,
were they saying? You pick on the ones you like.
yeah. That's one of the ones, like, I think we'll have fun sitting down one day if we can ever just get to an event or something like that and have a good conversation. Him and Philip. And I think Blaine has kind of just ventured into Blaine's beekeeping. I don't know for sure, but his years were going pretty good the last few times we talked to him. And
He was picking up a lot.
yeah, so I don't know if he's just kind of not doing the YouTube so much or not, but that's several of you love to sit down and chat with. But like far as I could see myself getting in trouble with this bunch right here. Yeah.
You and Blaine and Cajun Brad.
K John.
Well, Shauna, you're doing pretty good too. Mr. Russell said he caught another one yesterday evening. They tore him up.
Uh-oh.
Well, Clay's got 6 so far this year.
So a lot of folks is doing
Started picking
pretty
up
doggone
pretty
good.
good.
But
I bet you Rodney don't even know what his count is now.
No, Rodney done. He's went on admitted he done
He's
lost his
probably
count.
populated a whole nother out yard by now.
Wow, back. Look, I done got us all cattywampus here.
Yeah, he ain't good at that.
Oh, y'all be still.
I'm gonna have to let Martin all it out again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what else. Queen sales. Wasn't there 1 or 2
Saw some cups.
cups?
Didn't see any like closed sales. But I didn't flip them frames up to look and see if there was anything in them cups either. But a lot of them was real small.
Subdivisions moving in. Yeah, that's not a big something that put a big smile on your face, I guess. But hopefully they'll give you some kind of benefit, DC, if they go to doing. All right, Brian, Miss Kathy, y'all take care. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, Carl, looking at Phillips videos, especially them shorts he's been putting out back to back to back. He's having a good year on the swarms down there. That's it, DC, and whatever side it falls on, that's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Get back up here.
Hmm.
It's hard to read the comment or fully read the comments without just glancing over them and thinking this is what somebody said before I actually read the comment. And it's like, okay, this is what they really said.
Yeah.
All right. Got back to Clay, said he had 5. We're all out of his.
Phillips at 11.
Phillips already on 11?
He said he's stuck at 11. Nothing for a couple weeks now. So see, if he was setting it up, he couldn't go 2 weeks without it.
Well, I mean, you can't make it look like it's going every single day. You're setting things up. It's all about that camera angle.
Yeah.
Let's get it this way one day, go over the next.
Nope. JW is at 14.
I just caught and rehired the 14th swarm of this month, all from my yards. Well, hey, I mean, that's swarms from the house. You can keep there at the house. They didn't get away from you. Hey, a catch is a catch in my book. That's it. They're not getting away from you.
Yeah.
And them swarms will build out, which I mean, most of us know, but them swarms will build out just as good as a feral, or you got some swarm traps out. They all doing the same thing. So, JW, Lord willing, them girls will get on up and get gone on the building process.
It's
pretty quick.
To move one swarm 12.
Yeah, it makes for hard work.
Oh man.
Let me go over here and put him by this mesquite tree this time. I don't even know if he has mesquite up there, but what's one of them plants we looked up trying to figure out what his honey was? Horse mint. Yeah, he's getting different angles on the horse mint out there.
Yeah.
That's it, Highland. At least you got.
That's it.
I'll take it.
These is these.
Now, I guess if you're doing a contest with somebody and it's your bees, then you may not. Unless you just agree, hey, look, whether you catch your own or if you catch somebody else's, we'll count the numbers, and whoever wins, wins.
I wonder if Dirt Racer and Mr. Ed count their own.
But the loser does not get a trophy.
Yeah. DC said everybody gets a trophy. Swarm is a swarm.
That's it.
Automatic skate. That's pretty good.
Well, for you country bumpkins, and y'all know this, especially for the men folk. All right. If you're riding in the truck with your buddies, all right, no dude wants to be in the middle. You know what I'm saying? It's either I got shotgun or I'm just gonna ride in the back of the truck.
I don't like that.
I don't want to be like between two guys. Nothing against them. It's just a dude thing. It's just
DC said no
weird.
really quick.
All right. See? All right. Now, for you showing up country bumpkins, but this is where it makes perfectly good sense. There's a whole bunch of gates to open. Yeah, I'll sit in the middle. That ain't no problem.
Yeah.
Because whoever's by the door is going to be the gate man.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. And just say, who was it said it? Phil. Phil give you a nickname. Old gate opener.
The real cowboy rides. Oh man. I don't know if John Wayne would agree with you on that.
Okay, Debbie's saying I hate swarm.
I'd love
This
to
is-
be seeing swarm.
He's saying this is more swarms than he's had in the past 10 years. And how many say you have? 14?
Mm-hmm.
So, sounds like things are going just right
Mm-hmm.
up in that neck of the woods.
Yeah, Sarah's up close to them. She's doing really good on swarms too.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Sarah doing so good on it, too. Well, that's good to hear, cat without the hat. Got them
Yeah.
queens. Just let them out for another week or so and let her get settled on in good. And, or willing, next time you get out there doing inspection, you ought to be getting pretty close to some egg laying, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mr. Roy, if we was in that neck of the woods, we'd sure help out any way we could because we get back on our feet and we're looking for avenues of how we can help out any way we can since, you know,
So many people have been so good to us.
yeah, and reaching out to us. And y'all, there's some places we'd love to come visit, and we're thankful for people's willingness to help. But it's kind of too hard to drive 18 hours in a day, I guess,
Yeah.
going there and coming back to do something. But for the ones of you close and all that,
I mean, we have
let us know.
Even close to this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Big time.
Well, maybe next time too, we get over there, Mr. Russell's. He had mentioned about, Joey, y'all doing your bee club and him driving down there to where y'all do yours. And he was telling, well, Joey ain't too far. Then with your comment earlier, he said he wasn't about 30 minutes away from Mr. Russell right there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, shoot, 30 minutes more down the road.
Mr. Russell than he was to leave.
So, hopefully we can, next time we get over there, we'll drop by and see Mr. Russell, Miss Brenda for a minute. We'll mosey on down to Louisiana and get by there and see y'all. And we're going to try to make a trip, hopefully in the next month or so, to go visit with Mr. Ed and Mr. Mike Berry. We were supposed to get with him when we went to see Lee, at least stop by. Because, yeah, we was trying to beat the bad weather that day, get home before weather got too bad on us.
Mm-hmm.
But that's going to be our next trip is get over there and see Mr. Mike Berry and Mr. Ed. Then we'll make the next one to get over there to see Mr. Russell and Miss Brenda again and visit with Joey and see what's happening over there.
Another business day.
Another business day. We'll make, which has been fun, I will say, just loading It's been a while since we would just load up and go somewhere. And just because, but so far this year, just loading up, going to Lee's, and then this last little trip here.
Philip said I just checked it. 9 hours and 10 minutes to Mobile. He can be here by breakfast if he can leave now. We was kind of joking about spending that much time in the car yesterday. It's like, if we happen to make it to Nobby, we'd be driving, like, leave the same time we left yesterday, but just cut out the visit to Mr. Russell's and just drive all day long. And we'd be getting there about the time we come home yesterday evening.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because we got home at, what'd you say, about 3:30 or 4?
Oh, 4.
Which I'm not going to lie, the visit, it just flew by.
Yeah, it did. We had no idea we'd been there for like 4 hours we stayed or something.
I thought 3 or 4 hours and sat there and talked and done beads and talked. And whenever she told me, it was like, I forget, it was a little after 1 o'clock or going on 1 o'clock or something. Whenever she told me, I was like, ain't no way.
Hey, we were thinking it was like 11:30 or so.
Philip, if we leave out in the next 15 minutes, just have biscuits ready when we get there in the morning.
Do you want to bring Jasper's? He's feeling left out.
No, we're bringing something better. We're bringing baby Jaspers.
Oh, yeah. Y'all want a puppy, Philip? We'll swap you a couple puppies for some babies.
One for Sophie, one for Noah.
Mm-hmm.
And
what's your other son? Jared or something?
We'll get it for the whole thing. We got 5 or 6 in things.
Everybody gets a puppy.
Yep. So for ones of you close by on that, on a serious note, if you want the little Jaspers, holler at us. They're fixing to go.
Yeah. Can't do 10 puppies for very much longer at all.
Uh-oh. I broke the cardinal rule.
But they'll be pioneers. Hey, some of them taste pretty good. You can make it work.
Oh, that's some old box. Ain't that the box stuff? That pioneer?
Yeah.
Hey, we just load it up with honey butter. You'll never know the taste.
That's it. Boy, some of that alfalfa honey be awesome on a biscuit.
No, cat in a hat. It's been fun, but
they're so cute. But they're turning into little monsters now.
Yeah, the cuteness is still there, but it's wearing off a bit. But they got programs down here to where the SPCA send them up north, and before they even get up there, they're already adopted out to families and stuff like that. So that's what we're thinking about doing. If we can't, we're going to give folks around here first chance at it. And if they don't go pretty quick, then they're going to go pretty quick the other way.
Yeah, you're right, Sean. I'm getting really, really hooked on 10 little bouncing puppies coming to meet me at the door every time I come home. But they're going to grow into 10 Jaspers really, really quick. Some of them dudes are getting big, too. I mean, big, since they started eating puppy chow.
Oh, yeah. We pouring the 28-20 to them. So they're getting high protein.
They're getting that because I ran out of regular puppy chow tonight.
Well, that's cool, man. That's what we pretty much the same thing we're going to do. If nobody we know wants something, we just turn it over to the people on that end. But oh yeah, we're fixing with derail. We've already derailed pretty much, but we'll just see how it goes. Them little runts out there.
Yeah.
But we do. You and I have got to go tomorrow night to go get that colony from Lance and get them over here. And then we have got all the boxes and all the frames and everything from Lance's. We got to load up and bring to the house because he's fixing to be moving to some of his old property since he sold his newer property. But he doesn't have the shop and all that stuff to hold everything like he does now. So we're going to be busy cleaning frames, boxes, and I think we got about 4 complete kits that ain't even put together that he bought.
Yeah.
So
lots of equipment.
Plenty of equipment to be working out of this year. But I do need to render some of that wax we got down and get all that mess ready so we can get frames painted up and pretty. And if we do have any kind of flow of any sort coming off this popcorn tree, that should help encourage them to build on out pretty quick. But that's a bummer, Mr. Roy. Vacation's over. Back to work tomorrow night. Take care of yourself. Ain't that the worst time to go back to work? You know, it's the day after vacation. Let's see what y'all got going on. Brian and Jen. Jen has started bringing dog biscuits to the markets to feed the vendor neighbor dogs. Now they all over. Oh yeah, they done made a good friend. She's got snacks. There you go, Philip. You're just borrowing. You're not stealing. So you're borrowing an idea to see how it goes at your market. Because Brian's been gracious enough to give their bits of advice of how things work at their market. So that's another great tool. That's why you tell people if they're just walking their dogs, say, hey, look, man, I got some dog treats over here. You want to get some honey? Well, I'll hook him up with a couple of treats here. That's it. Networking, DC. Brian says you're going to have to start stealing from Carl. He's killing it too. Man, that's good to hear. Y'all getting off on a good foot on them markets. Brian, is your season looking good to where you're going to be able to go through and put some back for like your fall slack, I guess? Or let me reword this. Are you going to have a good enough season to where you'll think you'll have enough to sell and have enough to get through until next season? As far as is your flow doing good? Hopefully y'all can get a surplus put back I know Philip wasn't it this year. Said he was right there at the verge of not having enough, or he had just run out and was waiting to continue on. Good deal. Maybe they'll carry on then, Brian, and y'all be able to get a good surplus. I like your attitude, Carl. It's not stealing if we're helping each other. Thank you, DC. Better understandable words for folks. Hey, Miss Kathy did. We got our salsa the other day, or yeah, about a week or two ago, and done a good job on that. That'd probably be a pretty good idea to do too out there to sell. Get your stinger salsa. Yep. Hoping for everybody, but just replying to Brian and Jen's comment there. Hopefully everybody get on a good season like old Spielman. And just as soon as you pull them supers off, you're another week or two and you'll be
On a good job.
well, you can tell everybody. They probably didn't hear you.
I'll say Miss Kathy did an amazing job on that salsa, not a good job. £3,000 last year. Good grief.
That's a good run. 3,000 pounds.
He said he's shooting for 3,500 to 4,000 this year. Everybody says that salsa is good. I don't even know who all they sent it to. I know us and Philip and Joey. I think Lee got some.
Mr. Ed enjoyed some.
Yeah, he did. I don't blame him though, especially not after tasting it. No joke. We didn't have no chips left in the bag a couple days ago. I went to get some of Miss Kathy's salsa, and all the chips were like so little you couldn't scoop it. No, I was throwing them down in there and eating it with a spoon out of that jar. It was really good stuff. That's some of that you really don't even need chips. You can just eat it plain.
Oh, yes, good stuff. Good. DC, I don't know how many he's up to, but I know he has pulled honey for the third time
Second or third.
already.
And I mean full honey, like loaded his little pickup down full of honey.
And he's steadily stacking them on there. It'd be good to have one of those years. I don't know if some of y'all, I guess, original bunch, getting in on these chats. But whenever, I think it was Brad, Canada Brad, when he first started getting into the chats and this and that, he was showing a picture of, man, he had colonies out there and they were stacked well beyond head height. He was putting supers on these things, or it was somebody's yard. But some of them were at least 6 foot tall, stacked up, and they had several of them. out there in that picture. And I just remember thinking to myself, that would be awesome to be able to do. But I know the very moment that we had a thunderstorm around here,
It'd be over.
over they went.
DC said it looked like Mike Berry's ribs was healing in his last video. Oh yeah, I just heard her come to life over there, DC. Hey, that little thing, I think she was mad at me. We let her out the other day. One day we was home. We got home early one day for some reason, but we let her out and was letting her run in the bedroom for a little while. Yeah, that's what that was. She just hit the top of that cage in there. But what you call it? She was like playing with me. Like she would dive under the pillow in there and then come running out and run up my arm and like grab my cheek, and then she'd run across my head and then back under the pillow. She did that 4 or 5 times. And I had turned to look at her when she came up my arm that last time. And buddy, she grabbed my face and she bit the ever loving snot out of the tip of my nose and then took off running again. Like she was laughing at me. I'm like, you being a little tired now. She's a mess though. She's getting fat. We got her a new house.
Yeah, she got her new house to live in. She's tearing everything up and putting a nest in there. Now, Gary, we do have tie downs in the yard. I've got, I don't know, they're like 18 inches, 2 foot long trampoline tie downs. And the only time I ever think of using them is whenever the hurricanes. Because that's the whole point. We put them in the ground just for that, especially the horizontal hives. And if we got a couple of taller hives that, we'll just say one's got 3 supers on it. We got everything lined out to where it runs up and over and loops. Everything loops into itself. So whenever you do hunker down on it, it's all being pulled to the ground. But I'm glad he said that because I need to go dig them out of the ground because they're under the ground now. Yeah.
Well, they are at the bottom of the hill.
But they do work. We've run them through a Cat 2 hurricane. No problems. Yeah, and a good handful of tropical storms without no problems.
Opie's got all the dogs going off in the chat. She woke up DC and Clay's dogs.
Well, it's a good thing she ain't doing her little, that little call that them flying squirrels have, that little high pitch. Yeah, she'll be doing that for too long.
I couldn't eat her anyway. No, she ain't. I mean, her little body still ain't that long, probably. She's getting bigger around than she is growing long ways.
She wouldn't even fill up a kid. Kid would look at you and be like, what in the world? Is this little Chip? That's it?
Yeah. No, I guarantee you wouldn't get a whole mouthful of meat off of her whole little body if you tried to cook that poor thing. She's too sweet, though, when she ain't biting your nose.
Well, what you know good, Jay? Yeah. How's things over there in the fine state of Georgia? Hope you're doing well, bro. Well, there's a question. There's something we can get on real quick. Brian asking.
Bee pollen.
Yes. Is anybody collecting out there collecting pollen?
I know DC was, or he talked about collecting it. Who did I see on a video not long ago? Mike Berry pulling pollen traps.
Yeah, on some of his early spring ones. And I think Mr. Bob Benny put a video out not too long ago about setting pollen traps.
Because it wasn't long ago. I saw somebody doing it. But I thought somebody in our chat was talking about it. That's not my ear pop. Whatever that is.
I don't think it's from the snow.
Mm.
Oh, around here somewhere. I'll find it. Oh, let's see.
Shit,
That's good to hear, Jay.
you got
Hopefully it'll keep on keeping on for you.
Mr. Dan was talking about yawning earlier. It's catching up with me.
Careful.
Mm-hmm. Had 3 cups of coffee in the last 2 hours. It ain't doing nothing.
Nothing. Effective.
It'll probably kick in at 2 in the morning or something stupid.
I'm telling you, that coffee is a placebo.
Mm.
That caffeinated coffee nowadays.
They have little traps you can put on the hives. We don't have one, do
No, we don't have any pollen trap. Keep telling about pollen trap.
we? No, on the table? Over there?
I'll just get a new Cardinals.
Yeah. But no, you can order little traps that like go in on the entrance.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it'll collect into a little tray, and you can just pull it out into a drawer. You just don't want to leave it on
All the time.
continuously.
Yeah, them pollen traps. Yeah, like I said, we ain't got any, but
We've heard a lot. I mean, some people pay high dollar for that stuff.
oh yeah, you get a good amount of it, and a good helpful little hint if you like. If you decide to pollen trap, collect a good reasonable amount, but do as it's instructed as far as the times it is to take it off and put it on.
Yeah, everybody only leaves it on like 1 or 2 days, and then take it off for a while.
But collect all that pollen, get you a gallon freezer bag, just keep pouring it in there till you fill that baby up. Stick it in the freezer each time until you get ready to put more in it. Fill it up, put it in the freezer. Until you can't put no more in there, then if you don't want to use the pollen for any kind of medicinal purpose of your own or others around, you can sell it. Or what I'd suggest to do, especially first year or two beekeeper, hold on to it. That way, in the wintertime, you go to feeding, instead of feeding pollen sub, that's it. You can feed them pollen patties of what they had back in the spring.
Oh, DC said he got 7 pounds of pollen sitting in his freezer. That's a lot of pollen.
How long did it take you to get that much, DC? A season?
It's pretty interesting. But, I mean, what gets me is you can tell, looking at the frames, watching the bees come in, what kind of pollen, but just seeing all them different colors, all them different kinds of pollen. It was just like a different visual for me. Oh, he said I collected 12 pounds in 2 or 3 weeks from 6 traps.
Get out of here.
That's insane. Well, but I mean, in that video Mike Berry did earlier in the spring, I mean, he had like a Cool Whip bowl full in a day or 2.
Yeah, it didn't take long at all. That's
Uh-uh,
right. Yep.
not at all. Because we had no idea they would bring in that amount of pollen.
How much are they getting on the traps? How much is one to buy one? We'll just say.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it depends on which one you buy. DC said I was giving him away by the pound. Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of people out there in the world that love it for a medicinal use. It don't matter
Mhm.
where you're from. They'll buy it from you.
Like DC saying, the woman that runs his local beef store, what you call it, was asking him about it again. Telling him she'll buy all the pollen. Oh, thank you, Cat
Yep.
Without the Hat.
Oh, just
Appreciate that very much. To Clay, Brian, Redfish, Grammy, and Feed Driven Equipment. I've never seen that. Well, we appreciate that very much.
Absolutely. Thank you. And I'm kind of glad he did it because I had it written down here on my notes on the end, right there about midways. But to thank the new subs that have come on board with us, and to all our members, appreciate y'all very very much.
Yeah, and all the ones that give out these memberships.
Outcome. Right. I never should have touched it.
No.
But thank you much, Cat. Without that, we sure appreciate
Yeah,
that.
we do.
And maybe the next Saturday or so.
No,
do-
this remember?
Oh yeah, we got family wedding
Yeah,
catastrophe going on. We'll tell y'all about that next weekend because it's hilarious all at the same time.
It's a good thing we love each.
Doing a live chat one Saturday morning with our members. So y'all keep your eyes open on that. Probably, well, yeah, we can't do it this Saturday because of family stuff. So we will try for the Saturday week and set up a members only live chat. If YouTube will let us get through again, for whatever reason, YouTube just does not let us go live on YouTube. We can go use the StreamYard app and go through YouTube that way, but for whatever reason, directly on YouTube, we have the monetization, we have the 4,000 plus hours, we have the
100,000. So
yeah, everything that they want for credentials, but no,
credentials.
yeah,
Well, you didn't derail too bad tonight.
no,
DC said he's trying to fill up a 5-gallon bucket to take into it. Put that woman in shock. You walk in with a 5-gallon bucket full of
just set it up on the counter, talking about, I got you, Polly.
Yeah.
You got my cash? Because I do this in cash.
Yeah.
Hey, Redfish, how's Miss Janet?
That's what I was just putting in the chat. How are y'all?
And since he's in, put this together, I accidentally last Sunday asked him how his Miss Brenda was doing. Well,
He
Miss,
didn't have Miss
I know if I'd have had you here, you could have told me right then. But I was thinking somebody else has got a Miss Brenda.
It's Keith
Larimore.
and Mr. Russell.
Yeah. So that's where that is. But we still pray for y'all, Redfish.
Joey. Yeah, we are. Oh, that's a good idea, DC. Especially if she wants that pollen bad enough. Barn pollen for gear. That's a really brilliant idea, DC.
Well, I mean, I used to trade Rocky and them eggs for chicken feed.
Yeah.
I'd bring them 2 dozen eggs, and that's whenever a dozen eggs was a whopping $1.50.
Mm-hmm.
And he would trade me a $13 50-pound sack of chicken feed.
Mm. Redfish, I'm sorry to hear that. We'll all be glad to hear you say she's doing good.
Yes.
But in the meantime, we will definitely keep praying for both of y'all. I know that's
Darren says 5-gallon bucket of pollen would help my retirement quite a bit.
you ain't lying.
So DC got his own market up there. He may have a full
Looking
monopoly.
like
Let's see. The pork islands I'm getting. Thought Harris, I told him to pull a nuke off of each of them before I get them, sell them. Those sold nukes are paying for the gear. Harris is making. Well, that's cool. Love him. Help you out on that. Especially if y'all split them down a little bit and still be able to get them home and grow. Get them numbers up.
mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. DC said look it up.
That's what she's doing right now, DC. Looking up, see how much it is on Amazon.
Oh, well, I'm just Googling it right now. You ain't got the Amazon now. Anywhere from 12 to 18 bucks a pound down here.
We got to get
In
some
Mobile.
pollen traps. 12 to 18 a pound.
Mm-hmm. Says the more specific types of pollen are closer to 18 bucks a pound.
Well, tell them I can get just as specific as y'all want. I can separate the white from the yellow, from the gray,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever colors we got, other colors.
Hey, I'll be a pollen sorting little maniac. That kind of money. I mean, no joke.
I couldn't tell you what it come off of, but this is just as organic as you can get right here. And that'll be your selling point, organic pollen.
Yeah.
You're right. I've just never thought about it looking up the numbers on how much it goes per pound. And that's pretty doggone numbers for you just going out there and pulling that pollen trap off and emptying it and leaving it on for another day or two, then take it off for however many days, put it 3 or 4 days, kind of.
Well, DC saying 5.5 ounces for 30 bucks.
Yeah, do that.
Wow.
Do that, DC. Make a video of it and tag us in it or something, or we'll keep an eye out for it. And
Okay.
we'll share it of him doing the pollen.
Oh, yeah.
Pollen collecting.
I told him I'd be interested. He said he was going to do a video on drying down the frozen pollen. Who'd you say, DC? Nancy had asked for a video of it from you?
Didn't you put in just like old dehydrators? If I remember right. Or am I thinking about somebody else?
He said he was going to do another video of it, though.
But that's some good. Look up. Let's see how much a pollen trap is real quick.
Okay.
All right. Richard.
150 bucks for 8 ounces.
Well, a lot of that too is you're probably paying for the doctor. I mean, don't get me wrong, but a lot of that is probably because it's coming from Dr. Leo. Is reason it, which I could be wrong, but maybe a little bit more expensive.
Anywhere from 20 bucks to 150 bucks.
Okay.
For different pollen traps.
It's looking like most of the pollen traps that she's flipping through on here are pretty much the same thing.
$60, $20 to $50.
Okay. So $20 to $50 for anybody that's interested.
So a pound of honey could buy your pollen trap. And then it'd be profit from that.
Yeah, 1 pound. So, boom, buy another one.
Brian said Acme sells a bottom board that's got a pollen trap built into it. But he hadn't tried one yet. That's kind of neat.
And can you shut it? I guess, I don't know if you say shut it off, but are you able to, I guess, close it off?
DC
For the-
said he could adjust his to where he only pulls half the pollen with the bees bring. So he could leave his own over because he's not taking all the pollen.
Okay. Well, I said I've never fooled with them, but that's even better if you can adjust it to where you ain't even gotta pull it off all the time. You just go out there once a week or something, or catch it before it rains. I know. Okay, you put roads in. Everybody dipping it. We done. Well, we made it 2 hours, y'all. Sure did. Man Lake under the high pollen trap. Mine are a similar style as those. Okay. That's probably what we're seeing. Like what Mr. Mike Berry had going on too. I get up from Man Lake, I imagine knowing him or getting it from a well-known company, I reckon. But I'm gonna nose around a little bit that tomorrow. See about that. Nothing else, it'd be worth the investment just to buy one alone. You're getting a few pounds of it in a couple months. Highland pollen is $22 for 6 ounces at our health food store. Just 6 ounces.
Well, that's actually cheaper than what the getting them at the DC. 275, or they were selling 5 ounces for $30.
Yeah, it sounds like DC, you got a video to make there.
Everybody wants to see.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think we're gonna wrap her on up here. But we enjoyed it. I had no idea time was flying by the way it was. But thank you again, Cat in the Hat, for putting the memberships out there for folks. And
thank you very much.
Once again, all the new subs, appreciate you coming on board, our members there. And if you're catching it on the replay and you made it this far, we really appreciate you too. But until then, God bless you. Lord willing, we'll see you on the next one. Y'all take care.
Y'all have a good week.
Well, guess that's it for today. See you next time at Gunline Bees.